Welcome to Come On You Spurs TV, where Chuma and I are going to always talk about everything Tottenham. But everything Tottenham Hotspur. Remember, it's been a statement from the club saying that a club is Tottenham Hotspur, not Tottenham. How are you, Chuma? Welcome.
No, I'm good. I'm good. I think for the sake of everyone out there, we just go Spurs. I
Oh,
think Spurs just encapsulates everything because this Tottenham Hotspur, you go back to Ozzy Aldiles, Tottenham. So, so, so we just call ourselves Spurs. We're just Spurs.
Absolutely. Yeah, so welcome back. We're here again. Talk about what? A few things. There's going to be a break coming up next, well, for us at least. Those guys who are still in the FA Cup will play this weekend, but we are out of the FA Cup. So our next match is in the
Thursday,
Europa League, away
Europa
to
League.
AZ Alkmaar. But last night we lost Man City. Those of us who watched that match, of us had mixed feelings. Some people, yeah, I mean, we'll come into that a little bit later, so we'll talk about that a little bit. And we'll also look ahead to the AZ Alkmaar match and what the rest of the season holds for Tottenham. Tottenham. Right, so yeah, Chuma, you're the needful.
Yes. If this is your first time watching, if this is your introduction to Come On You Spurs TV, welcome. You can click on the subscribe button and the notification bell. Lets you know for the algorithm. Comment, tell us what you like, tell us what you think about Spurs this season, Ange's second season leading into the third. And as always, we are Come On You Spurs TV.
Indeed, indeed. Man City come to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in London, and given the fact that we beat them 4-1 at the corresponding fixture at the Etihad, which
4-0. 4-0. They didn't
4-0,
score.
sorry. For some reason marked almost like a downward spiral from then on. We haven't been the same since then. One expecting that. Okay, we seem to have the hex on City because a lot of people know that anytime we play City, we're more likely to beat them than they are more likely to beat us. So we're expecting a tight game, given the fact that City are not particularly in that great vein of form at the moment, and they seem to be undergoing one really torrid season. Given their very high standards. Of course, they're still in, if they had won that match, which they did, it would have taken them back into the top four. And top four was never a thing that City were always going for. They were always going for the title. More a question of how many cups they will win in a season. They're probably the first club. Well, they are the first club in England to win the quad. And they've got a very very good history behind them. So going to that game was always going to be a challenge. Tottenham, given the fact that we haven't done that well, we haven't done that well this season, and we come from a run of three consecutive league wins. Of course, a couple of cup defeats thrown in between that, but at least it gave the team a little bit more confidence going to that match and hoping to expect a result. Given the fact that we had a few players back, and the bench was beginning to look a little bit more decent compared to what we had before.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know that we're going to talk about this, but let's just hit it now. I looked at the starting lineup, and I was actually pleased with the starting lineup because he was resting or bench, had put some on the bench. He had Ted Spence on the bench, he had Kulusevski on the bench, and some people said that he should have started those people rather than the lineup he went with. But I kind of beg to differ for a number of reasons. Everyone's been saying before yesterday's match that Son needs a rest. Son has started pretty much most games when he's been out injured, and so when he's been available, he's always been on start, and rightly so because for me, Spurs. Son is a Tottenham legend, and you don't bench your legend, especially if you have them fit, except of course resting them or you're trying to change things or have a different system of play. And I thought that was a good move on his part. I mean, at least not to give him a rest, given the fact that we've been playing the same team over and over again for most part of the season. And when we now have players available and coming back, it gives those players a chance to get the running in the team. At the same time, what's the word? Do what's the word? Give the players who've been playing so long a bit of rest in terms of the physical exertions. Now, I mean, you have all those contrasting views. Which some people say, look, you always start with your best team and you bring down guys later on. It's never right or wrong in my view. It's only right when you win. If you don't win, then you're a mug.
Facts.
I see you nodding your head, Chuma. Tell me.
No, no, no.
Thoughts?
I was going to say you fall into two schools of thought when you're a football manager. There are those ones that believe you play your best side and then you take off your best players, and there are the other ones that say no, I can rotate and bring on the best players to what's the word? Impact sub. That's the word. Impact sub. And so I fall into the former. I'd rather play my best players, get the results shored up, and then take them off. However, we are playing Man City. So Man City is not the kind of team that you can say you take off your best players because they could kill you at any point. People are looking at City as a wounded animal, like a wounded lion. But a wounded lion can still kill. It's not dead until the lion is dead. It can still kill you. It can still harm you. So people are going, oh, City, this and that, and and like you said, we set off the very same people who were shouting about the injuries and no lack of rotation. When he finally rotated, they've lost their minds. Why are you rotating? Why, because everybody wants to win and they want the clearest version of a win, which is play all your best players, score as many goals as possible, and but it's clearly not possible, with the side at the moment. It's not possible. And it was good, like at that point where you saw the substitutes coming on. I mean, for the first time this season, we could see Spence, Son, Kulusevski, Papisa coming. You're looking going, wow, like we've never been able to call on a bench that rich the entire season. Never. So it kind of gives you hope. With regards to the front three, you said you were happy to see the lineup. My only problem was they're inexperienced playing together. This is where if fitness had allowed, these guys should have had a cup run or something like that where they play, because you had Odebear, Tell, and Brennan Johnson. Actually makes sense because Odebear is a dribbler. Brennan Johnson is just a wide forward finisher. And Tell is supposed to be a very mobile striker. And they struggled to gel, I think, in the beginning. And that's the problem with the first half. I think Ange said it in an interview that he was they were too eager. There was an eagerness to just get at City. And when you turn over possession to Man City, I mean, you're done regardless of what you say. And I think the main difference was, I think it was a case of the number nines. We have a number nine in Matisse Tell that is trying to get used to the game. He's trying to understand the rhythm of the game, the ferocity of the game, the physicality of the game. While they have a guy, we've nicknamed him the alien at most times in Erling Haaland, and Erling Haaland, by his standards, has dropped. I mean, this was only his 20th goal of the season he scored against us in February. Only his 20th goal, in February as well. Like, he should be on 34, 40 at this stage. You know what I mean? So you look at it and you think he was a danger man for me. If you took him out, regardless of the fact, I mean, because you and I talked about it. Jeremy Doku, the winger for City, he just has Pedro Porro's number. He's the reason they started calling Pedro Porro Pedro Pony, and he's had Porro's number for every game they've played. However, he also did the same thing in the prior game to Trent Alexander-Arnold. He literally had him, but the problem was in that game, no matter how many times he skinned his man and put the ball in, it never came to fruition. The end product is still the thing. Yeah, you can kill my fullback, but are you creating a chance to score? And I think he created two chances, of which one was taken anyway. So in that case, that's why you look at it as a problem. But No, there was some plus points in that game. Also, still Vicario coming back and Vicario putting some amazing saves. That first half, City could have been, they could have been out of here. But we've seen this before. Even in the games we've beaten City, they could have been out of sight in the first 15, 20 minutes. That's usually their mo. But we weathered the storm. We came in at 1-0, and second half was a completely different side, especially when our substitutes came in to show you, you know, we could really have an impact. And it was a case of not taking our chances in that second half. But to me, it's a weird loss. It feels it's the weirdest loss of the season because it feels like a draw loss. It doesn't feel like a loss, So
I love that. I draw loss, loss, or a win loss.
a win loss, yeah, it's like there's a win loss where you win the game, but your team was completely absolute trash. But you won the game and you didn't do anything good.
Well, I mean, I like how you sort of framed what they might look like, and it brings me back to this us what you might call armchair pundits, if you like, social media, folks who have podcasts or channels that sort of discuss things, and even well, WhatsApp groups that they discuss this thing, and you kind of hear all sorts of rumblings in those groups about how fans are, and I sort of it's a really interesting thing about human nature when you're in those groups, right? And you hear contrasting views about managerial decisions, players' performances, the other teams' impact on the game. In actual fact, people forget that you're playing against another team, and that other team wants to score as well, and that team has a legitimate ability to be able to perform as well, regardless of how well you guys perform. So people sort of discount that element. And the fact of the matter is that we're playing a team sport, right? Sometimes you're going to make decisions that do not necessarily align with the popular view, right? However, the coach makes those decisions based on his own data and based on what he sees as he's the one with the guy in the training every day. He's the one that sees what's going on. And I hear stuff like, oh, he made changes too late. He made changes in the 59th minute. When was he meant to make the changes? First half, second half, I don't know. So, I mean, what do you think of that? I'm sorry. I know people are entitled to their perspective or point of view, but it's a view that I don't agree with. I think he made changes right at the time. And I think the change substitutions were the right substitutions at the time he made them. That's my view. Of course, everyone would love to hear from you what you think and why. My view, because he rested those people that he rested for obviously, legitimate reasons. They've been playing all season. Son has been playing all season. Decky has been there all of the time. Even Sa. Sa, okay, fine, maybe not play as many minutes as the first mentioned, but they still have played quite a lot of minutes this season. Was it the right decision to start them off the bench against City? Who knows? Hindsight is always a wonderful thing. What do you reckon?
Well, I think a lot of people, I think the argument is a lot of people would have preferred him to make these changes in the Ipswich game. Now, if he'd done this at the Ipswich game and we'd lost, and then we lost against City, that's two losses. So you know the saying, you can't have your cake and eat it. Or you flip to the Nigerian version. You can't eat your cake and still have it,
I don't
which
know.
is both statements are true. You know, I don't understand. It's kind of like a damned if you do, damned if you don't thing. It brings me back to the Champions League final and Pochettino and the Kane Lucas Moura thing. I 1000% agree with Pochettino playing Harry Kane ahead of Lucas Moura. And I'm probably in the minority and people hate that. But my reasoning is this. I believe we
Don't
were
worry.
going
Among
to
acolytes, you're in the majority. Don't worry.
lose. I believe that we were going to lose the game against
Liverpool.
I believe we're going to lose the game against Liverpool because I think our midfield was not. We lost Musa Dembele at the start in January of that year, I think, and he'd left. I think our midfield was porous anyway. I think we're going to lose. Now, imagine losing that game to Liverpool with Harry Kane on the bench. Just imagine how they would have lynched Pochettino. Pochettino would have been lynched,
Yeah.
you know. And everyone can say what they want to say because it gave us having Lucas Moura not starting gave us the excuse of why we didn't win. Once you have an excuse for why you didn't win, it makes things bearable. But what you failed to do, if he had played, and let's not forget, this is not Ajax. This was Liverpool, a Premier League rival, whom Lucas Moura has done absolutely nothing against every game he's ever played. And I love Lucas, but he never did anything. But the guy made a decision, and he was damned if he did, damned if he didn't. And I looked at this Postecoglou in the same light. No matter what kind of decision he makes, it all, like you said, it all hinges on the results. If the final results don't make sense, then everybody starts to, lose their minds.
Let's look ahead to. I mean, some people said that he made those decisions looking ahead to
AZ Alkmaar
match in the Europa League. I hope that we would have well rested players and all that sort of thing for that match, and obviously we should give them a chance of winning the Europa League. I know there's been plenty of speculation about Ange win something in his second season and all that, and a lot of people are saying that almost like some sort of him being held hostage to that statement, And the fact of the matter is that look, they always sort of ignore the second part of what he said. What he said in full was that it's a fact that he wins in his second season. That's what's happened most times that he's been in management, right? However, there's no guarantee. He actually said that there's no guarantee that that's what's going to happen anyway. It's just that that's what's going to happen first. But people leave out the no guarantee part and focus on his one effect, which is, I don't mind. I mean, positive vibes. I'm all for that, No, but the agenda, in my view, is not a positive vibe. It's like you say, "No, let's see you do it," that sort of thing, But for me, I mean, him resting those players, obviously, I don't think it had anything to do with it. I think it was just a question of saying, let's give the players a chance to recover and obviously put them in the better frame of mind for the rest of the season. Of course, the Europa League match is still a week away in the grand scheme of things, but it does give us a better chance. Hopefully, some more players are coming back, we're told, in that time frame, and that would hopefully make us a lot stronger than we were. Hopefully, by the time we come back to second leg, even Solanke will be back, Romero and Van de Ven, will be back as well. So we almost have more or less a full complement. And the only people missing will be Richarlison, who knows, and then we'll see what happens. What's your take?
No, so I'm with you. I'm with you in this thing that I don't think the same thing when he said he made the statement. Nobody ever listens. Everyone's always looking for clickbait material, and the clickbait material was I win in my second season. But he said there's no guarantee, and things change, But they took it. It's like pastor in my church always says that people make a doctrine out of a Bible verse, but they don't read the context of the verse. They just turn it into the whole thing. Like people have that saying, the love of money is the root of money is the root of all evil, when it actually says the love of money is the root of all evil. But once they say it, so it justifies poverty. But flipping back to Ange, he made the statement, and everyone's going, oh, yeah, it makes sense because of the AZ Alkmaar. No, but those guys are shattered. Like, Kulusevski's played like 59 straight games, and we're not talking internationals as well. You're looking at Son flying great distances to play for Korea. In fact, that is the actual gripe at the moment about Christian Romero. Christian Romero's fitness is literally aligning with international week coming, and he's going off to Argentina. I love Kuti. I really do. But if it's one of the things I take away from the Argentine players in particular, because Lo Celso had that same habit as well, is making themselves available for their country when they haven't played for their club. And it's probably going to happen again. But you look at the number of games, the distance traveled, recovery from injury, you're not really allowed. I think this season has had probably the most hamstring injuries across the leagues, all 5 leagues, because of the tournaments, 2024. You have the Euros, you have the AFCON, you have all these different tournaments. The players have no rest. They have at best 2 weeks, and then they're back in training again. You're trying to manage their minutes, but it's been very, very challenging. Nations League, all these different things I think are just a bloody waste of time. But in saying that, I think he's rested these guys to get themselves back to peak condition. A peak Kulusevski, a peak Son. I mean, we looked at Son against Ipswich and we're like, my God, this is just 1 week's rest. Look at what it did for him. And even yesterday, he was quite active and lively, and he had that chance that was crossed in, and he took first time. If he had scored that, but he's fresher, especially now he's in his 30s, he needs to be time managed a lot more. But AZ Alkmaar, in saying that, they're a very exciting side. I don't think a lot of people have previewed them the way they should. And they have, one of our own in Troy Parrott, who has played very, very well for them this season. Troy Parrott what are the odds of him not scoring against Spurs? It usually happens. It usually happens that way. But I think it would be a good challenge for Tottenham. I'm happy the first game is away as well. So long as we don't go down by more than 2 goals, I hope for a win. But if you're going down, let it be the odd goal and we'll come back and smash them at the lane. But yeah, it's going to be I think it's going to be interesting this season. And then also, we've got the Bentancur contract talks as well. And it's very odd because now that kind of signals everyone's latched onto the fact that it's Bentancur, not Bissouma, we're renewing. So that means, Bissouma could
Yeah,
be
where
bye bye.
else? Yeah, well, who knows? I mean, with this thing, you never know what's going on behind the scenes. Anyway, I was going to sort of say we should put up on the notes or say let's make a prediction for the Europa League, but someone says to me, no, don't do that. Let's stick to this match first, right? And then take every match at a time because you don't want to be like jumping the gun, and I won't jump the gun. So, but I mean, people say that okay, fine, that's the last chance we have for a trophy for this. Fair enough, but hey, it's you win the match in front of you before you go to the next level. Let's hope we win the next match, and hopefully that would, But looking for your predictions on the AZ Alkmaar match.
It depends on who's back, because if he has a complement, if he has, I told you, I think I said either in the last one or on the group, I said the reason Danso is playing left centre back is because Romero is coming back quicker than Van der Ven. So they want him getting used to playing on the left side of, which by the way, we didn't give him props. Kevin Danso is fast becoming probably one of my favorite centre back buys at Tottenham in a long time. Like since probably I would say like Alderweireld and Kuti and
Batogen.
Yeah, he's just a man mountain that just brings the ball out, and he's a tank.
And he can pass. Yeah.
Yes, he can pass. He can do crossfield passes, and he's just a tank of a guy. And the funny part is, I can see him playing with either of those two gentlemen. Cuti Romero on the right is more silky, can pass more. But then him playing with Van der Ven could actually even work, because Van der Ven can go on walkies and just leave this tank guy to just marshal. So it's going to be an interesting one. But back to the match prediction, I can see a draw. Either 1-1, I think they will score. They're very exciting attacking side. Their manager sets them up to attack. They have some very good young Dutch players. And like I said, Troy Parrott is also in form as well. So I see them scoring. I see us scoring as well. Like, I could have almost said it 2-1 to us, but I would go 1-1, and then we come back and we'll see what happens here.
You know me. I'm going to go for a 3-1 to us. So hey.
Optimus.
Prime.
Optimus by any other name.
Thank you so much, guys. I would love to hear from you on the thoughts on how you guys performed. The changes we made to the team, and of course the outcome. Leave your comments in the comment section. And if you haven't liked or subscribed yet, please do so now. That's what keeps us going. We value your support, and we enjoy. We thank you for watching us, and continue to support. Thank you so much. Meantime, I'm on you, Spurs.